Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Coach Jeff Hand, and I wanted to talk about the barbell back squat today. I firmly believe that barbell back squatting is not just great for lower body strength, but also for your core musculature and therefore your spine health as well. But I still see the barbell back squat out of many other lifts being performed incorrectly. And I want to make sure that this way of setting up for a barbell back squat and the education I'm going to give you here is going to help you lifting heavier and getting stronger than you ever have, but also doing it in the safest manner possible. Okay. So there's a few things I'm going to run down in this video from, hey, where should the bar be placed? Where should my feet be placed? Hey, what's proper squat depth? Things like that. And I'm going to try to make this as concise as possible. So the first thing you want to talk about is setting up the bar at the proper height. So the barbell is being held in place by these J hooks in the optimal position. So I'll typically just walk up to the bar, and I want to make sure that the bar is seated at about mid sternum, right? Mid sternum level. So you want to adjust the J hooks accordingly up or down, because you don't want to have to be doing a calf raise to get the bar in and out of the squat rack, or you want to be performing a good morning to land it, right? Not only are you wasting energy, but there's a lot higher risk of injury in those two other scenarios. Now, once you have the bar where you want it, in terms of the positioning on the J hooks or the squat rack, now where does the bar go on the back? So there's kind of two methods of thought. You have the high bar. So this is where I'd say the novice is going to start. They're just going to place the bar at the top of their neck. But what I'm going to recommend, and I learned this from Mark Ripito, he's got a great book called Starting Strength. It's all just about barbell biomechanics and things like that. Highly recommend the read if you want. But the low bar position ideally places the bar much lower down on the back, so it's more positioned on like the upper back. And what that does, it positions the bar right over your center of gravity before you even go down into the squat. So think about your center of gravity as like the arch of your feet, or where your shoelaces are. And you want the bar to start there. So when you go into the squat, your hips aren't and your knees aren't moving in an awkward manner, because your body is going to try to keep the weight over that center of gravity to optimize balance and equilibrium. So you want to already help your body do that by putting the load or the barbell in the right spot. Now, this is where you might have to talk about shoulder mobility, because sometimes people can't get down into that low bar position because they're just so restricted up here. So if you have really tight shoulders, you should be working on, chest stretches, door stretches, things like that, to where you can build up to that, okay? But now you need to say, or ask rather, so where is this low bar position, coach? The best way to find it is take one arm, wrap it around your shoulder, until you find that bony part on the back side of your shoulder. That's the spine of your scapula. The bar is going to rest right under that. So if you're new to this method of squatting, I recommend like giving yourself a good press there, so you'll really remember where it is when you get under the bar. Now, we need to talk about your thumbs, right? Wait, coach, this is about squatting. Why are we talking about thumbs? Because when you get that bar into position, and to make sure that it is set in the right spot and that it stays there, you need straight wrist in a high elbow position. If you have flexed wrist, you're going to have low elbows, and it's not going to work out. So you want the thumbs over the bar, so you have a straight wrist, high elbows, and now that upper back musculature is holding onto the barbell in a nice, safe spot. Okay, so we got the height set. We know the bar's going. Well, then what about the feet? So here's, again, learn from Mark Ripito, and I've had great success with it, not only in my own training programs, but all the people that I've been working with once learning that technique for the past 10 years. So when you're squatting, you want to get your heels under your shoulders. So maybe practice this in front of a mirror. So whenever you go to the squat rack, if you don't have a rack that's in front of a mirror, you can look down at your feet and know this is where they need to be. But draw an invisible line from your heels up through your shoulders. That's where you want your feet positioned. The other thing is you want your toes or feet slightly turned out at about 30 degrees. Now, don't get a protractor out. You'll find where that comfortable position is. But as you drive downward, you're kind of shoving your knees outward to create tension on the inside and the outsides of your thighs and hips. This, again, maintains proper joint stability as you come down. So that's what I'm going to recommend. Heels under shoulders and toes slightly turned out. Now, when you look from the lateral viewpoint here, A lot of people, again, if you're high bar squatting, you will be coming down with your knees, okay? But if you're in that good low bar position, the first thing is really drive your hips backward as you come down into the squat. So you got to get rid of this thought that you need to have a vertical torso. That's more front squatting, right? When the hamstrings don't have so much tautness, they're more slacked, right? You want a more vertical torso. But again, you want these muscles under optimal tension and stretching as you go down into a squat, especially if you're moving a lot of weight, even if you're not moving a lot of weight, because this allows the joints to be set in place and not able to move around. Okay. So when you drive your hips back, right, you're getting a good stretch on your glutes, on your hamstrings, on your adductors, your inner thighs. This is stabilizing the lower back, the hips, and then also the knee joints as you come down under load, which brings me to my last point, squat depth. You ideally need to get the hip joint in line with the knee joint. That's what we consider parallel, okay? Because when you're at that full range of motion, right, the adductors, your inner thighs are maximally stretched, further stabilizing the knee joint. So if you put it all together, you set the bar mid sternum, okay? You find that low bar position, goes right under that bony part in your shoulder. You're gonna get your thumb straight, wrist straight, high elbows. You're gonna get that bar, and then you're gonna easily come out. Then you're gonna set your feet, shoulder width apart, toes slightly turned out. You'll drive your hips back first, and then bend your knees. So this is what it should look like, okay? So I'm getting my thumbs over the bar. My wrists are nice and straight. I'm going to find that low point. I have nice high elbows. I'm going to safely pop out. I'm going to check my foot position here. And then from here, I drive my hips back as I come down into a squat to parallel and then come right back up. So as you see, you don't want a vertical torso. That's how the knees drive forward. You want that nice, natural forward lean, not excessive, but natural, where basically the torso angle is matching the lower leg angle. And then you push back up. So again, that's my quick rundown on barbell back squatting. If you have any further conversations, you want to start a conversation in the comments below, please do. If you liked it, let me know, share it, all that good stuff. But I want to continue bringing some educational videos when it comes to weight training. So if you have specific things you'd like to see, let me know. And until the next video, this is Coach Jeff, signing out. Peace.